So, Norm, hi, buddy. I believe this is a new moon. So now I know why you picked this day. Am I right? New moon man? Waiting to hear you.
Hello? Can you
Hi,
hear me?
Norm. Yeah, hear you loud and clear.
Oh, all right.
Happy Hanukkah.
Share my screen. All right, there we go. Get my notes up there. Hold on a second.
I hope you get some Hanukkah gelt from this interview.
Yes, sir.
Look at that,
My
Cat.
union. Now,
Okay.
can you see my notes,
We
Dale?
got it. Yeah, you're starting with Feb cattle on first chart.
Okay. All right, you can see that. All right. So, are we good to go now? You might.
Yeah, Norm is a former SIBO member. Went there as a young man, left as a young man. You know, just used to scalp. Got interested in astrology in college. He's one of one of the best in covering. He knows GAN. He knows a lot. But what he does for people is he simplifies his reversal points in his newsletter. So if you're interested in how planets affect market behavior, Norm's a great teacher. So take it away, buddy.
Thank you, Dale. Thanks for having me on your show. All right.
You're welcome.
It's because Dale is so popular and you got to book months in advance. I thought, man, you wouldn't mind going if I went back a few weeks and I showed you where there was a lot of planetary activity, and so we could get more practice and seeing some more cases of things, you know.
Yeah,
So
it's
anyway,
up to 6 months. No, it's up to 6.
What's that again?
I'm booked 6 months in advance now.
Okay, all right.
I'm just kidding, man.
You're gonna. All right, and I was gonna say maybe you can get Elvis on, you know. All right. All right, I'm going to start with back around Thanksgiving time there, and this is what I had in my letter back in the end of November. And so one of the interesting things that happened back then, I usually don't talk about things that are not financially related because it's all about making money, you know. But one of the things I listed here, and there, you know, there's multi-facets to astrological interpretation. On the afternoon of the 20th of November, we had there's something called a natal chart. That's a snapshot of when things begin, like when you were born, or if we start a country, you know, that kind of thing. And so we have the U.S. natal chart. We take a snapshot of the planets at that moment, and our country was founded
on July 4th, 1776.
I see that you did not sleep through history class there, Dale, right?
Yeah. Okay, so that's the birth of the U.S.
Right. So what happened on the 20th of November, planet Saturn, that's a 29.5-year cycle. We divide our circle, our pie into 12 slices, you know, equal parts. So the 8th house is you can Google it. I did this just to make sure that I would be telling you right. You can Google it. If you put in astrological 8th house, it'll tell you that's the house of death. And Saturn entered the 8th house back on the 20th, and Saturn's also representative of a senior, highly respected person. And guess what? We had one of our highly respected people pass away within 10 days of that.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So kind of interesting.
Yeah.
All right, now off to making money. Okay, so now I have item B here. We have my top things are when planets, due to the rolling motion of the Earth, planets look like from here on Earth. If you go out and plot the night sky, you would notice due to relative motion. That's the key. How things look relative to where we are. It looks like the planets actually stop their motion occasionally, individually, and then reverse the direction. It's like if you're driving your car and you're doing 60, and then you look out your side window, and if you glance out your side window, you might get the impression that you're going backwards if somebody passes you. Okay, well that's what happens here with the Earth, where all the planets are going around the sun at different speeds, And so if we look out in the night sky, we might be passing somebody, or they might be passing us, and gives you the impression that that planet has momentarily stopped its motion and then reverses its direction. When it stops its motion, that's called a station point. And there's two kinds of station points. One that's stopped to go forward, that's called stationary direct, and one that's stopped to go backwards, that's called stationary retrograde. The other top thing that I like is the planets go around the sun like horses on a carousel. They go around and around, and they also go up and down. And when they get to that midpoint of the up and down portion, that's zero latitude, and that seems a very, very important point also for the markets respond to that too. Okay, so that's what the kind of things we're going to be focus on. Plus the moon, obviously, we're going to be pay attention to if we have a new moon or full moon, which we just had last night. Okay. So back on the 21st after the close, that would be over Thanksgiving holiday there. We had Venus hit 0 north latitude. We're going to look at the markets that are associated with Venus. One of them is cattle. And what we're looking for is a market, one of these markets that's indicated that if it gets to an extreme in that time window, there's a good chance it will reverse. And that means that we can make some money. And so there we go. So there's cattle as indicated. And there you go. Here's what happened. You're near the top, a little short-term top there, the cattle. And I think it pulled back about 3 handles. And you might remember being on the CME there, Dale. I think that's good for about $400 per handle, right?
Right. How do you know when to cover?
You just have to use some good trade management rules,
Like trail a stop, or do you have any
trailing stop, or if you get a nice clean, we don't really have an easy example here for the cattle, but let's go make one up here now. Let's say you're going up, like over here. Can you see my mouse? Okay, my hand. All right. So here we got a nice clean trend there. You draw let's say you're long here at the bottom, and you're going up, draw a line.
Draw a trend line. Yeah.
Draw a little trend line underneath there. As soon as you break the trend line, you're gone. You're WD gone, Dale.
Yeah, I like that. WD gone. Okay. All right. Probably not a lot of cattle traders in here, but your point is that they work on every instrument. Your work.
Right. Well, you'll see.
Any instrument.
I'm going to go through quite a few markets here, but just to answer your question about trade management, one of my little models I teach my students is we don't give the money back.
Yeah. You know what, Norm? Hillary Clinton made a lot of money in cattle, and she didn't know astrology. She made a lot of money because she read an article in the Wall Street Journal. That's what she said.
I think you're tongue-in-cheek there, right, Dale?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, that's all you need to do. It's read the journal.
I think she got a little help. Little help, maybe.
Yeah. I think they call it another mark. All right, go ahead. Sorry, I'm not allowed to be political. Anyway. I hear myself echoing. Turn the volume down in your room.
Me?
Yeah, if you have the volume on, well, just go ahead. I don't want to mess it up. Go ahead.
All right. Another planet associated with Venus is copper. As you can see, you had an opportunity there to sell the copper near that little short-term top, and it dropped from about 78 to about 72, and that's 6 cents times 250. About I think that's about $1,500 there. Ka-ching, Here's your cotton. You're buying the cotton. It went down into our window. And so then you're going to buy it there. And the difference between that bar and the next bar, which was the low, was 2 little pennies, not the big pennies, the little pennies. That's about $10 out of your wallet is the difference there.
Okay, I asked you how you know when to take profits. How do you protect yourself on buying cotton like that? Use a money stop?
Well, use some kind of reasonable stop, right?
Yeah, like a penny or something like that.
Yeah,
risk a penny. That'd be $5. See what happens.
That's $500, right?
Yeah.
Then we rallied up from 77 to looks like almost 82. That's 5 cents. That's 25. $100 potential there, you said.
Yeah.
All right, the best trade of all was probably my biggest change in trend window the last several months was back right around Thanksgiving. We're looking at this period, so we had a huge pileup of top-notch planetary events. Plus, we had a full moon.
I could vouch for it because Norm sends me his stuff every day.
Yeah, there you go.
That's a great call.
Thank you, Dale. And Dale will testify, right, Dale?
Yes.
Okay,
I will put my hand on.
I thought you might want to jump in and go.
My head. Huh?
I want to jump in and go. I'll testify. Okay.
You know, I'll go to Robert Mueller later.
Okay. All right. Anyway, so this is the big window here. The stock market has gone down into Thanksgiving. There, it's not supposed to do that, you know, Dale, because if you know anything about the stock market and seasonals, this is supposed to be one of the most bullish 1 to 2 day windows of the year, right?
Well, I got to push back. Then why the old Wall Street adage, the bears feast on Thanksgiving and the bulls feast on Christmas?
I've never heard of that before.
Write it down and use it next year if your moon lines up.
All right. No, I think this, if you go look at the statistics, that I think right before Thanksgiving it's supposed to be bullish, you know.
Oh, okay.
But most of the holidays tend to be bullish, you know, right before the holidays.
I think that adage came from somewhere.
Okay.
All right. I didn't make it.
All right. Anyway, we went down there. We made a low there right on that Friday, the 23rd. That was a full moon that just after the midnight on the 23rd. We made our low that morning. And then we had 180 point, roughly, not exactly, but somewhere in the neighborhood of 180 handle rally. For those who are not familiar with the S&P, if you're trading the S&P mini future contract, that would be $9,000 in about 10 calendar days.
So to yesterday's action, the full moon was last night, so the new moon was last night, so it could have qualified as a reversal point for you.
Right. Well, we're going to get to that.
Plus, we had the day off with the day of mourning. Plus, we had a national holiday on Wednesday, so
right.
Does that sometimes throw off your dates when things like that happen?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Okay.
They don't happen often.
Another Venus market is sugar, looking for a low here right around that Thanksgiving time, and this one at the red arrow because that did not work. So the market went lower 2 days later. I kept that as a miss. You will see a pattern here, though. The misses tend to be very small misses, small money, and that the gains tend to be big gains. So that's good.
So that's another rule. I know you brought it up that from your turning point, you'll give it 48 hours to work.
1 day.
1 day? Okay.
I got to be right within 1 day or it's wrong.
Okay, got it.
Here, sugar went 2 days later. It made a lower low. That's bad.
Okay.
That's not sweet, you know. Here's the wheat. Did the same thing. 2 days lower. 2 days later, it made a lower low, and so you're out. You know, so you took a small loss. You know, we're talking very small losses on these 2 trades there. Here's your corn. Corn acted. Corn. We're looking for a low within a day. This is based. Oh, now we're in a different grouping now. Now we're looking at moon trades. This is based on the full moon back there around the 21st, 23rd. You know, because of Thanksgiving. And we're looking. The full moon was on the Friday the 23rd, and the next day, corn makes a nice low, and then goes up. You
told me this lunar stuff works best in grains. Is that still your belief?
Well, one of my little sayings is, if you don't want to use your brains, trade the grains.
I like that. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also works pretty well for the currencies. I had one of my students likes to trade the currencies. He's mostly a day trader, but about twice a month, full moon, new moon, he jumps in there and does a little currency trade because they usually work pretty well with the moon. Okay. All right, there's your corn. Beans, even better. Look at that. Boom. Here's your low, and moved straight up from there. T-bonds made a little bit of a top there, not big money, a little bit of money, about at a handle or so on the T-bonds top. Here's your gold. I bet a lot of your folks like to track the gold. There's a little top there on the gold, and you pulled back from about 35 area to about 20, about 15 handles. Okay, here's your euro, did not behave, and so that was a miss. Now we're going to look at we had a big cluster, so we had multiple cycles all pile up, so we have some repetition here. And so we already looked at some of these, but there's your corn. We already looked at that. Looked at the beans. I looked at the stocks, and we looked at the wheat. And then the other big thing that happened then was that Neptune, and it was going to turn direct. So I was looking for a low in the oil, which had been going down, down, down. And there you go. I was off of just a tiny bit here. A couple of days later, it went a little bit lower, and so that turned out to be a miss.
Okay.
All right, there we go. We got one or two more markets to go for the pass, and then you get this will get good practice. So when we look at the future, you'll know what to do. Here's silver. That was a good one there, right around the same time to go long silver. All right, now this is the dynamite page here, Dale. That's going to knock your socks off, and you're going to learn a lot from this page, I think. Okay, this is taken from my. I don't know if you ever heard of the Bradley model or not, but yeah, that's what you're going to be. This is sort of my version of that, where you add up the planetary events of the month and plot them on a graph, and then try to make a forecast. Here's what happened.
Which one's the Bradley? The blue lines of Bradley.
The forecast is the blue line, and the black bars are the S&P 10-minute bar chart. Notice how the S&P topped in November, right on the new moon. The new moon was on the 7th. That's the actual high was on the 7th. We pulled back, went back up, and a roller retest on the 8th, and then we went pretty sharply down. The last couple of days makes this looks like a Sunday school picnic. Back then, that looked pretty significant,
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, we went down, down, down. Then the next big event was that Venus was going to go direct. Well, the market bottomed just ahead of Venus direct, rallied right to exactly that weekend of the 16th, I believe. Mercury was turning retrograde, and the market tops. You were talking earlier about that the algos were running the market. Look at this chart. Are these the algos? Because these are the guys that are running the market. The Mercury turns retrograde, the market tops, and then we go down into my.
They may have it coded in the algo, the Bradley model, and so forth. Yeah.
You ever heard of Renaissance? You know who Renaissance is?
Yeah.
Renaissance is one of the largest hedge funds in the world.
Yeah.
They have, go look at it in Wikipedia, they list that one of the people that they hire on their staff there are astrophysicists.
Wow. Okay.
So
they have a nice budget.
What's that?
They have a nice budget.
Yeah, exactly. I think they even manage about 35 bill or so,
Yeah.
Plus or minus a little bit,
Yeah. We don't have to worry about that.
They can get free bagels there, All right, you got Mercury. You got Mercury returning the retrograde. The market tops there. We go down into my big cluster right around Thanksgiving. Full moon on Friday the 23rd. Look what happens. We bottom right there. And then we take off for 180 handles on the S&P. Okay. So, if you're not watching this planetary stuff in the moon, you're trade blind, in my opinion. You might as well go to Vegas and at least get a free drink or a free meal out of it,
Well, you're not objective.
Why is that?
You're biased towards your work. Doesn't mean that everyone else is blind.
Dale, this is.
I'm telling you, I'm not blind.
This is indisputable.
I once was blind, but now I see. I'm not saying it's not great stuff, but there's many ways to skin a cat.
Okay, fine. But my point is, this is all objective, empirical information. I have nothing to do with any of this.
I know.
Okay?
Yeah.
They can go, by the way, I know some of this stuff is after the fact. You can go Google this stuff and you'll find out that I can't change these dates.
Yeah.
You know, I have nothing to do with it. Okay?
Well, you discovered, you noticed it through observation that it was a very effective model.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. And it was
And
right.
then you
So
could you lay over your planetary work at these turning points, and it probably gives you even more conviction about the turn. How about that?
I think it's the other way around. I try not to think and let the planets tell me what to do.
Okay.
The less
Good
you
interview.
think, the better you'll do. Dale, you're an old veteran. You know, when it comes to trading, the less you think, the better you will do. Thinking is dangerous to your financial health. I know that.
Yeah.
Right?
I think so.
Okay. I believe that the human brain is I believe that the human brain. I believe that the human brain is wired to lose money. You know, so the less we use it, the better you'll do.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Anyway, that's some little examples there of how well this stuff works. Is amazingly well. And if you were to learn this stuff, you would probably greatly improve your market timing. All right. So here's what we have now. Last night we had Mercury turn direct. Okay. That's the opposite of Mercury just turning retrograde. Mercury goes retrograde about 3 times a year for about 21 days. So that's where we're at now, Mercury. And when one of these planets turning retrograde or direct lines up with a full moon, with a new moon or full moon, like we had back on the 23rd, we had these major planetary events all lined up with the full moon. You can see what the potential is there. 180 handles on the S&P is huge, right?
It is huge.
Yeah. So there we go. We had Mercury turning direct last night. This stuff usually works within one trading day. We could have maybe had a bottom yesterday. It's possible. I'm a little disturbed that the big rally on the close, when it does that sort of thing, it sort of like takes some of the wind out of the sails, and this thing may end up failing not too long, maybe a little bit down the road, But for now, we got a low in, I think, and we got a new moon. We had a new moon last night, and these things are all lined up. So you want to, on your Mercury, was in Scorpio, in the sign Scorpio. So you want to look at your Mercury markets are your greens, and then also because it's in Scorpio, you want to be able to take a look. This is going to be your shopping list, folks. So doesn't mean that you trade these. You look at your charts to see which of these markets are at an extreme. The bigger the extreme, the bigger the potential opportunity. It's Newton's law. For every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction. So these are the ones that have the ones with the biggest extreme have the greatest potential for a big reversal and for you to make some nice money. If it's stuck in the middle, take a pass, right?
Yep.
All right, so there's corn, there's your grains, hogs, and bonds, and your greens. Okay, that's then we have the new moon. Moon is also your grains, your precious metals, your financials. Notice I have FX there for your foreign currency, and so forth. So that's your shopping list. Write down this shopping list. Look at your charts tonight. See if there's something that looks, appetizing.
Okay, like you're going to show the dollar. So there are no extremes. It's moving sideways in this triangle that you're showing. So that means that you don't do anything in there because you don't have a trend.
Exactly, dude. You got to see how simple this is.
Yeah.
Other times we had these nice ups and downs in the dollar. I think several of these would turn right on a moon. There. I think that's probably a moon there in early October, right? In the middle of October, I think that was probably a moon, and so forth.
Yep.
Here, I think right. I'm pretty sure that was a moon right there with the around the 7th of November. That was a new moon. You see, they had a nice low there, but it doesn't work every time. Unfortunately, not perfect.
Yep.
But when they do line up nicely, then you got something good,
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then next week we have a big cycle cluster for the U.S., which means we want to be watching U.S. stocks, T-bonds, and U.S. dollar. That'll be lasting for a couple of days. And then it's all going to reverse on the 12th. So go the other way, okay? So that's pretty much it for the near future here. Give me a call. I got a free class. I put these in just because I know your folks like foreign currency. So there's your dollar, like you mentioned. The yen looks a little more appetizing because it's got a little bit of a trend here to the top of its range. You see that?
Yeah.
It just touched the top of its range yesterday, right?
Right.
And this, I don't know, this is probably upside down from how your folks see the market because I'm doing futures.
Right.
What's that?
Correct.
It's probably inverted, right?
Yeah,
But it's the same idea.
Right.
All right, now I've been, as you mentioned, Dale, I've been doing this for about 50 years, and including 12 years on the Chicago floor. I was on the CBOE and the Board of Trade, and I guess I got a little bit of experience, and so I teach my knowledge in my letter in about a 6-hour free class, and 1-to-1, and you basically get a college education for traders in about 6 hours, and I'll teach you how I do these. My stuff looks complicated, but you latched right onto it, Dale. You said, "Oh, look at the dollars getting in a narrow range," or you probably don't want to do anything. You caught right on. So I'm telling you, there's nothing here that you can't learn quickly. And if you don't have to be smarter than a fifth grader to do this stuff, Dale. I promise you, there's no fancy formulas, no algos. I couldn't do that. If that's what this was, that would be way over my head,
Yeah.
I'm just a regular guy.
Do what you know or learn from the best. Do what you know or learn from the best. That's what I say.
Okay, I agree with that. And hopefully I'm the best, right? But we'll see.
You're a great planet guy.
What's that again?
You're a great planet guy for your niche. You're very good.
Right. And I don't know if anybody out there ever thought about studying Gann, but Mr. Gann was an astrologer. That's the big secret, So there you go. Now the secret's out.
Okay, so this is Norm's contact information here.
Yes, sir. There it is. I'm in chilly Florida. It's a little chilly here in Florida today. I actually got my heater on.
You better go cover up the orange trees.
Yeah, I don't have any orange trees. I do have a mango tree. Got a mango tree in my backyard. Every couple of years we get the mangoes. There's my phone number, 239-594-3939. If you're in the good old USA, or you can email me, nwinsky@mbarkmail.com, or you can call me on Skype at norm.winsky. Looking forward to helping some of your folks, Dale. I think they will greatly enjoy this. I try to make it entertaining and educational, and most of my people are, after a few days of practicing what I teach them, are making money at this,
Well, Norm, I want to thank you for coming in and wish you a great holiday season and a healthy, prosperous new year.
Thank you. You too, and to your folks and all your listeners there, happy holidays.
Thank you, Norm. Everyone, Norm Winsky.
One last thing, I didn't mention it, but I also teach day trading, and that's been very successful too. So this, for anybody interested in like day trading the S&P, the wild and crazy S&P.
Yeah, it's a day trader's paradise right now. So exactly. Have a great weekend, Norm. Thanks for sharing your dates. Past performance is not indicative of future results, and thanks for sharing some future dates for a style ball. Okay, buddy?
Great.
All right,
Look forward to being on again.
Yep.
Okay, take care. Thanks a lot.
All right, have a great weekend. Thank you, and that's going to be our week wrapping up right here, Face. Don't forget to sign up. The weekends are the best time to immerse yourself in ForexAnalytix and all the great analysis there as well. All week, I try and bring guests into Face that could also be part of your intelligence gathering, education, potential trading ideas, and it's our mission to build up and edify traders every day. So don't just count your pips, count your blessings. Have a great weekend. See everyone on Monday. Adios.